Hello, it's me.
Welcome back to my channel. We're talking about Lost Love today. This time we're talking about the part 2 of How Did I Stay Sane. And it actually all started with one video game when I was a little kid. The game was called Final Fantasy Tactics and it was on the PlayStation 1. And I'm going to go ahead and roll some clips of this game so you guys can get a feel of what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it and see why I was so inspired by this game. Now I'll give you some background information of my life at the time. It was 2006. I read every single fantasy book you can possibly name right now. And so having, Final Fantasy and fantasy books, then they add in that I was really good at chess, add that in. And then you add in that I'm pretty new to video games and I had just gotten a PlayStation, like, come on. Put that all in, that was the perfect mixture it was pretty much Powerpuff mixture. But as you can see, absolutely amazing working mechanics of the game, beautiful magic attacks. It's an amazing game. Just even the music was beautiful. There was nothing wrong with this game. Like I've wished forever to have a Final Fantasy 2 or a game that can possibly top it. It's kind of like you guys who know Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. We need another one of those. Like, it's so juicy, right? But how did this game actually allow me to survive? What actually made it inspire me? So we're gonna jump forward to about 2011. This was towards the end of me being held against my will. And so what I would do is whenever I got paper towels, I would strip them from face to face, then I would strip little tiny strips. And then I would start crafting out of it, and I would have these big plush animals, and then I would suck them, and then squish the pieces together to make more solid creatures, so they wouldn't fall apart when the slightest wind came by or they didn't blow over or something. And I would have creatures. And originally it was just chess pieces because I didn't have very many pieces, so I couldn't make a whole fucking RPG system, right? And I got really good at that. My favorite piece, actually, of all time, like I think of this as soon as I think of these pieces, was a knight piece for the chessboard. And it was just a sword stuck in the ground, and I used the hilt as shoulder blades, basically. I put a necklace and a cape on it, and it was beautiful. Like, I don't know how to describe it any better than that. It looked like a actual person. It was perfect. And it was kind of a way to symbolize, the fallen troops and all the heroes and stuff like that. It was the hero piece. And so after I started solidifying, I ended up making about 270 pieces and 700 tiles to be able to create terrain on a 14 by 14 field. And when I was told, hey, you're leaving, pack up your shit, I was like, I don't have very much shit. All I have was I had like a pillow and these creatures, right? So I put all these pieces together and I tried to wrap them up the best I could. And when I got to the Greyhound station, it was maybe my second time at the Greyhound stop. It was a long trip. It's from, we drove from Georgia to like Mississippi or something. And then Greyhound to Los Angeles. Somewhere in between there, I think it was Louisiana. I was already humiliated. I had long hair. I didn't look all that great, and I was like, having these weird ass paper towel things around is probably creeping people out, and it's humiliating me. And I didn't want to, but I decided, hey, maybe I should get rid of these. So I did, and I've regretted it ever since. Like, to this day, I'm like, I had some amazing art pieces in there. Like, holy shit, like it took some skill to create some of those pieces. And so why that was able to keep me alive and keep me sane was I was constantly using brain power to create pieces. I was using my mind's eye to see pieces as they're creating. Now, I didn't know what I was making at the time. It was just, I'd start with the body and the head, and I'd see, hey, that giraffe that I'm trying to make, or I thought I was trying to make, kind of looks like a good gargoyle, so I'd start making a gargoyle or something like that. And then none of them had color, obviously, so I'd use my mind's eye and I'd visualize the perfect colors for them, and they were amazing. And then I started creating, the RPG system itself. I'd make duplicates of my favorite pieces and have, the attack stats, HP stats, and everything like that hidden in a corner as small as I could possibly make it. And doing all that keeps your brain in check. If you don't keep your brain in check, then you start losing wrinkles in your brain. You start breaking down. You go insane. And I'm so happy that I've had this influence in my life beforehand, because I was this close to being sent to a psych ward or just a place for mental patients, I guess, because that's the reality. People who get locked up for long term, they're not mentally capable of being in society, and I managed to be able to do that, and it's absolutely amazing. It's astonished a lot of doctors. Like, it's incredible, and that's why I say, like, Final Fantasy Tactics truly saved my life. And as you've been seeing on these replays right here, it's pretty sick. Not gonna lie, it's pretty sick. If you guys are interested, it is in the Apple Store. You guys can play it on there. It might be on Android. You can find it plenty of places. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Hello, it's me.